You've been on social media. Okay, there's been a friction of women. Look, there's these ardent feminists and there's former feminists as well that are pretty tired. And I guess women that have been older and they've hit the 30s and then realize they want someone. They don't want to be alone, and life is difficult. It's not that easy doing everything on your own and try to be a man when they're a woman. And after she say, it's like the thing I said, like if behavior is not natural to you, you can't keep it up, and you're going to get tired.
Yeah.
So now they want to revert back to being the traditional woman, and that's why if you've heard of the term tradwives, that is actually trending at the moment.
Tradwives.
Which is short for traditional wives.
Oh, so it's not short for trade your wife.
No, not trader wives. So these are women that have decided consciously that they want to be the traditional wife and take on the homemaker role. While the husband is the breadwinner, they're at home cooking, cleaning, and doing all the baking. And a lot of them, they posted TikTok videos on there. Some of them put on dressed like the 1950s housewife, a 1950s look. Pretty okay with the apron on, and they've done hair and the makeup. They look very nice, and they're doing baking and that. And people, especially the young Gen Z and millennials, look at that in awe. Say, oh, what's that? Haven't seen that before. What is that?
Completely foreign to them.
Like in awe. See? Well, like a couple of them that just spend like 5 hours doing baking, doing things from scratch, baking, doing cooking, maybe doing some gardening as well. But they're always very presentable. The house is always clean and spotless. When the husband comes home, what do you, as a man that's come home, house is clean, you've got dinner, home cooked dinner, and a cake baked for your dessert as well. How would you feel? You feel?
Not only that, but if she
great.
came around and she says, "Look, I put $1,000 whatever into this company, and it looks like the shares are taking off," and and then oh wow,
wouldn't you be happy to come home every day?
Yeah.
Hearing that news. And these women are not just ones that they're saying, oh, they're not educated. The ones that have had degrees.
Yeah.
They've decided the corporate life is not for them.
Yeah.
They'd rather do the traditional role. And they're happy at being that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately...
Because it's hard in corporate world, especially for a woman. Because
it's cutthroat. It is
because women are more emotional than men, really, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
I mean, men will just sort of, so what, water off a duck's back type of thing. And
women... Yeah, I think with their emotion, a lot of them, their heart. And it is a stereotype, but often the stereotype is true. It's not based on something. And a lot of, I guess, ardent feminists and so forth see that as being a weakness. But why? But then that is a nature of woman. So by denigrating that, you're actually denigrating women, and you're saying that women, that's less than a man. That's less than male qualities. This is the big thing.
But a lot of times the man will come back, as you mentioned, like coming back home in the evening, and he's pretty much exhausted, because what men do are some jobs that are so hard. What would we do without good men, like doing these jobs?
Yeah.
And they walk in the door and they get
more complaints.
And why is the grass not growing? And why didn't you cut the grass type of thing? Why didn't you fix this and fix that? And it was all... And there's this pressure. And then the other talking is as well that women probably feel like if they're not putting the pressure on, that the man will just stick his feet up and watch TV all day and won't do anything.
Yeah.
And he'll just sit around.
Yeah, well, the trad wives, they kind of want to make the environment as pleasant as they can, because they are home all day. There's no excuse not to. This is the thing. If a woman just stays home and watches daytime soaps all the time and no cooking, when there's no thing, then she deserves every criticism.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not being a part of a team.
You're not being part
of a team. You're being what do you call it? A freeloader.
Yeah.
And utterly selfish. Yes.
Yeah.
But she's doing her role. So one half of that. I find that's equality. Okay, that is working as a team. She's looking after the domestics. But another thing, I guess, on top of trad wives, what they can do, well, okay, firstly speaking, they've gotten a lot of of flack from other women that says, you're happy being a doormat, you know, and well, have you gone out, have you lost your mind? You're going to be oppressed and just doing something that has no value, because they're still valuing the traditional male qualities and roles and the jobs that they do. So by saying that, it means like all this, what women have historically always done, the domestic, that's worth nothing.
Yeah, they're saying there's no value to that.
No value to it. And
but
I guess
in reality, there's so much value.
And this is one criticism I have about Western culture, is that they don't value that work. Okay, even in conservative quarters, I heard, yes, they want women to do all that, go back and, you know, be doing a cupcake and baking cakes and all that. It's great for women, but they don't actually push the line that it's important. Even they don't actually push it, saying that is important work and raising children, that is important. That is valued. That is a job. But because if you don't, a job that's not valued, then people don't want to do it.
Yeah.
If what you do is not valued, why would you do it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and so these MGTOW men, if you want the women to do all that, then you've got to value that job. Okay? You want them to be home, cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, you've got to appreciate and value it.
So if you're dating someone and it's you're a few months into the sort of thing and saying, oh, there's a good person, would you have a checklist? The questions you
That'll
ask
come
them?
later. You've got to consider yourself. But again, with the trad wives, I'll continue with that. All this going, what they can add on, I see them Western traditional role for a woman, a wife's role is different from a traditional Chinese role. Woman's traditional Chinese wife's role. Not only she does the cooking, cleaning, and raising the kids, she also does all the admin and manages the finances. Well,
pays all the bills.
Pays all bills and all that, and is keyed up on money.
Because men don't care too much about paying bills or whatever. Yep.
And so the traditional wives, traditionally, they haven't done that. It's left men to not only they earn the money, but they have to take care of everything else and the admin and paying bills and so forth. And that's why the criticism of stay-at-home mothers don't have no idea about money, and they're therefore vulnerable because of that lack of knowledge and being the finances. Well, trad wives can shut all these critics up, but not doing all the cooking and cleaning, but also doing the admin as well. Paying the bills, getting research, getting the best mortgage deal that you can, and being keyed up on the finances, and you've taken up a whole load off your husband.
Yeah.
Okay, that's confident that you're there, you've taken care of everything else. Okay, he just has to concentrate on his career or his business and bring in the money, and you manage the rest, and so forth. And this way, in terms of finances as well, she's up there with him. And she's got her own job. The household job, that's her domain. And the finance. As a bit, in the 90s and I think early 2000s, what I heard in Japan, they're calling it Mrs. Watanabe.
Mrs. who?
Watanabes.
Watanabes.
Like Mrs. Smith of Australia. Okay. Because it's a common surname. Okay. You've had this mythical Japanese housewife called Mrs. Watanabe. That's a common Japanese surname. And what they do, because at that stage, Japan had basically no interest on the bank accounts. They weren't receiving any interest on their savings. And as you know, Japan was really stagnating. So to earn more money, what these housewives were doing after dropping off the kids, coming home and doing carry forward trades on the computer. So they weren't getting any interest in their own banks, so they lent money overseas where they got a far higher interest rate to earn the money. And that they were calling it the Japanese housewife effect, Mrs. Watanabe. So there she was earning money, staying at home still, to grow and grow the nest egg for the family. So that's what I guess the Western traditional wives haven't done in the past. But that's how they can modernize themselves.
Well, something needs to be done. It needs to be examined more because the amount of divorces now is alarming.
Yeah, and that's what Western society doesn't realize.
Like a lot of the MGTOW One of their arguments is, well, you know that in a few years it's going to end up in divorce, so why go through it in the first place?
Yeah.
But if you get it right,
Right. If you
and
know,
if you have
you
the
both
right
know,
team,
yeah,
and
right
you know your
team,
right position,
right, what your job is.
yeah,
You have to know what your job is and able to do it. If you don't know, obviously you're not going to do it. So I guess it falls down to the men. I guess if you want a happy marriage,
oh,
you
it
will
does.
have a
It falls down to men, does it?
great
oh, there
partner.
you go.
Because at the moment,
Why is it the man's fault? Why it has to come down to men?
because they're going to usually the major breadwinner, and they're the ones that are doing the MGTOW movement.
Yeah,
So, okay, the women are looking for a good provider, no matter what women
yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Either traditional or a modern
Yeah, they need
they're looking for a provider, no matter what. Now it's up
Yeah.
to you to choose. Okay, and I guess most men realize that they would be the main breadwinner and the main provider. Who can you accept? Who would you be willing to provide for that you won't feel taken advantage of and you'll feel happy to provide for?
Yeah.
What type of woman?
yeah.
Think about that first before
Yeah,
you
not
find.
the one that buys $400 shoes or a $2,000 handbag type of thing.
Okay, you marry that type of woman, and then you complain about it. You can't complain about it after that. Okay, that's why I say men don't they're just as guilty of women that overlook the nice girl
Yeah,
because they're not seen as exciting.
yeah,
And then you're seeing it clearly from dating websites. That's why they're all so similar, all the profiles so similar, because people know that's what's appeal. That's very sad. It's unfortunate and very sad, because if they were honest, and even nice girls, if they were honest and put a nice profile to describe themselves accurately, they'll take care of you, we care of you, cook for you and all that. If a man sees that, he'll probably run away. Come on, man. What would you think if you saw a profile like that?
yeah,
I'll take care of you when you're ill. I'll take care of the finances. I'll make you even richer. I'll do the gardening and the cooking. Be honest. Would you click and choose that?
Well, it depends on
If they
on the
really
man.
understand. Yeah, if they understand.
So probably the younger man, not so much.
Not so much because they don't understand.
Yeah.